Hello, welcome. Some of you that have been here before will be able to tell I'm up at Camp BoB, located in the heart of County Durham. Yeah, we're slap bang in the middle of what used to be Durham mining area, the mighty Durham miner, long gone now. But I'm up at Camp BoB and we're getting ready for a northeast bushcraft meet next weekend. There's a few little jobs to do. And the first little job is put some chicken wire down on one of the little bridges. It got the last one was rotten, new bit's been made up, but it's a bit slippy in this wet weather, so I'll put some chicken wire down. And then I'm going to take a brush and brush off the parachute. That's the plan anyway. I don't know if you can see behind me the parachute, it's sagging because of all the pine needles that have fallen on it. So we'll get the brush and push all of them off before any damage is done. The toilets might need emptying today, and the forge area, or the soon-to-be forge area, needs tidying up because we're going to temporarily, someone's coming down to do a bit of blacksmithing with the kids this coming weekend. And then we'll have a look around and see what else needs. I think there's a gas cylinder needs finding and getting swapped out, so we've got a full gas cylinder for the forge. But we'll see how we go. First job, put some chicken wire down. There's my chicken wire. This is the bridge that needs doing. I think I'll go get the brush and brush it off before we start. I had this left at home from a temporary fence I put up, keep the dogs off the grass when I reseeded it. Not that it stayed off, they found ways around it. Tell a lie that it wasn't. Originally I got it to, because Karen wanted some raised beds and I put them in. She wanted to put veggies in it one year, and that's why I bought it, because we had to put this up to keep the dogs off the veggies. This staple was a good buy. BoB UK had an offer on. They often do. It's rare that they don't have some sort of offer on. But essentially, if I bought a 4 amp hour battery and charger, I could pick a free tool from a range of tools, and this was one of the tools that was on offer. Yeah, so I bought the battery, and this was one of the free tools I could have, so I thought, I'll have one of them, it could come in handy. And it has come in handy. Because you can fire staples up to 14mm long, and from 6 or 8mm up to 14mm, something like that. So there's plenty of choice. Only does staples though, it doesn't do brads, which is not a problem because I've got a brad nailer. So I thought, what the hell, I'll give it a go. Yeah, and I'm very pleased with it, to be honest. I know BoB's not for everyone. Not professional, but then again, I'm not professional and I don't use tools that often. Especially I'm old and crippled. Which brings me to the reason why I haven't made any videos. Not many over this last year, to be honest. And it all started way back last December. We'll go have a sit down and we'll talk about it. A quick recap over the last year. Last December, mid-December, run up to Christmas, I started having some stomach issues. And it was quite painful. Went to the doctors, he ordered some tests. So, to cut a long story short, over the next couple of months I had various tests, blood tests, this, that and the other. Tests for bowel cancer, which came back clear. I then went and he had them put a camera down my throat and into my stomach to have a look about. And that came back with my stomach lining was inflamed. And they've put that down to 30 years of pain medication and possibly the aspirin I take every day for my blood pressure has irritated my stomach lining, so they gave me some tablets to try and calm it down. But on top of that, I started having intestinal problems, so loads of tests for that, hence the cancer test. But the consensus of opinion on that was it was a form of irritable bowel brought on by the inflammation of my stomach. So he's put me on a diet, or not a diet, he's given me a list of foods to avoid, and basically the types of foods that might ferment in your gut. And he also wants me to avoid wheat and lactose, which is a bit weird because if I have ice cream and stuff, I'm not affected, so I don't think it's the lactose. Wheat, some bread products, hit and miss. Had some toast a couple of days ago. I just couldn't be bothered cooking anything. I was faffing about and there was some bread there and I just wanted some toast. Even though I knew I thought it would cripple me, I thought, oh, sorry, I'm having some toast. However, it was the cheapest Tesco's own brand cheap brown bread, and it didn't irritate my stomach. It was, I was fine. So that's a nice bit of bread and butter, toast and with butter on it. Because I can have butter, even though I've got to avoid lactose, I can have butter. And hard cheese like cheddar. I'm fine with them. Anyhow, I digress. Put me on this diet and it sucked all the joy out of meal times, because some of the things I can't have are things, anything from the onion family, garlic, onion, leeks, whatever. So you take garlic and onions out of just about any food that you might cook and suddenly it's lost a lot of its flavour, which has happened. I've lost weight because I just can't be bothered eating sometimes. Anywho, story goes on. I got a water infection. And I was passing blood. And I had a hell of a fever, so went to the doctors, took me straight into hospital. Was put on an IV for fluids and antibiotics because my temperature was that high, and they wanted to get a grip of it before it turned into sepsis. So I was in hospital for a week with that. More tests, ET scans, MRI scan, lots of different blood tests. It was like a pincushion. But a couple of months ago, results of all that came in. I had to go and see the doctor, and it turns out I've got prostate cancer. Oh dear me, the big C. I'm 63 years of age. My heart's probably going to give out before that kills me, because it's not. It hasn't gone rampant. It's early stages, confined to my prostate. So what they're doing at the moment is I'm having regular tests. I was in for another CT scan last week. And early January I'm going to see the specialist again. So I have to have a blood test just before I go in to see him. It's the one that checks to see if they can now measure something in your blood to do with prostate cancer. I forget the term for it. But they're going to measure that and see if it's gone higher from the last time they did one. So I'm at the monitoring and not treating stage at the moment with that. However, I just feel like shit most of the time. Some days are better than others. My blood pressure's up and down. It goes low quite a lot. I've now got my own blood pressure monitor at home, and I check my blood pressure every day. And some days it's quite low, and I can get quite lightheaded if I start exerting myself. So I have to keep an eye on that. But all in all, I've just not felt like doing anything, let alone making videos. But it was time I thought I did one and explain what was going on. It's also a record for family going forward. Or is my family and most people I know already know about the cancer. I'm not hiding it. It's prostate cancer. It's an old man's disease, apparently. It's God taking the piss out of men. Because if you think about it, women, from when they start having their periods, through childbirth, onwards towards the menopause, are plagued with plumbing issues of some form or other. And men, we just don't know what all the fuss is about, do we? No. Well, later on, God's give us a prostate. Women don't have them, but we've got them, and it can bite us in the arse or in the pecker later on in life. Yeah. So anyhow, my prostate is quite enlarged. They'll give me some tablets to help me piss, and they've worked a treat. So things have been all right on that front. Just got to monitor the cancer. But it's the blood pressure up and down bit that's of concern, but it's not that much concern. I just have to watch what I'm doing. So I do a little bit, like up here. I've just done a bit of chicken wire, sitting down telling you about my ailments. Must be getting old, I'm talking about ailments. But I'm going to tackle a parachute next and just get some of the pine needles off, because it's sagging in places we don't want it to sag. And later on, some of the guys should be up to help with some of the other jobs. I got here early because the wife's gone away. She that must be a bird has gone to Leeds with my daughter and grandson. They've gone to a Christmas market. It's a church outing, so they've gone on that this morning, so they had to leave early, so I was free to do what I wanted, so I came here. So I'm going to push this off, and then I'm going to put some chicken wire on a couple of bridges when you first come into the wood, because they're a bit slippy, I noticed when I walked past them, well, over them. So that's my next job. So I'll talk to you soon. Well, time for a sit down and a cuppa. Yeah, aside from the fire. So there's nobody else up at the minute. Would have thought somebody would have been up. There's lots of people said they were coming up, but it's still early. Well, I've got the chicken wire down and I've swept off the parachute. I'm just going to have a sit for a few minutes, get my breath back, and then I'm going to start tidying up the forge area. Oh, I've got flickery lights behind me. So what were we talking about? Yeah, health hasn't been grand. Working from home has been a big help, because there's some days when I get up I feel like death warmed up, head spinning and I'm dizzy. After an hour or so it eases off, but if I was having to make the choice to drive into work, I'd have gone, oh, I'm not fit to drive in. There are some days I won't drive and I make Karen drive, and she doesn't like me being in the car when she's driving. Apparently I make funny noises, and so does she. You know the ones. Things like that. Sharp intake of breath every time she thinks you're going to hit something when you're nowhere near it. I get concerned because she leaves braking till the last minute. So does my son, and so does my daughter. Maybe it's a modern way of driving, but I keep telling them, feather your brakes well before you get somewhere, just to make sure they're working, because they apply them quite severely close to, but if they're not working or the roads are slippy, they're going to go in the back of somebody. Ugh. So the other week we said that Sonny was going to a gig somewhere or other. So have you got much cash? He went, oh, I've got a tenner. I went, is that all you're taking? Because we knew his bank account was empty, because he'd had a couple of big bills and it was late in the month. So I gave him some cash. I said, do you need any more? I don't know why I need this. I said, for unforeseen circumstances, such as, he says. And I looked at him and I went, well, that's the nature of unforeseen circumstances. They're unforeseen. Best to have some money with you. And even if it's just enough to get a taxi. Kids, eh? Never mind. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, health. Yeah. So yeah, working from home's been a godsend. And it's the same work I would do if I was in the office. So don't see the difference really. There are some jobs that you need to be in the office for, but I don't seem to do them anymore. So there you go, it's all digital stuff these days. And I know a lot of people on my team say that they have trouble working from home doing digital upload. It's just too slow, it's unreliable, it's just, you know. And I was telling my team leader, I said, well, I don't have those issues, I don't know why. And I was thinking about it and I thought, I think I might know what it is. Because we're issued a laptop, I think they've logged onto their networks at home via Wi-Fi. And it's dependent on the speed of their Wi-Fi and the speed of the Wi-Fi in the laptops. And the laptops are a few years old now, so it's not fast, really, in real terms. So I think it's at I have a docking station and I've plugged it directly into my router with it's gigabit Ethernet. So I've got a gigabit cable, rated cable, into the docking station. And I don't think most of them use a docking station. I think they're just using the laptops, or I've got a docking station and larger monitors because I'm old and my eyes are knackered. And I like my workstation to be just so. So I think they're logging on with Wi-Fi, which is possibly why they're having problems. They should get a cable and plug the buggers in. Don't like Wi-Fi. It's useful. Yes, I use it on my phone and stuff when I'm in the house, but I don't use it on any of my computers. They're all hardwired. There you go. Even the TV is hardwired in rather than using Wi-Fi. Yeah, it's only mobile phones that we use the Wi-Fi on at home. See, I've been working from home this past year, and it's, well, almost a year now, and it's been great. Glad the company let me do that. But I've had that so much time off this past year that I've gone down to half pay. It's because August last year I broke my ankle when I fell off my motorbike. Broke my ankle and my leg, and I had a number of months off then. Because I had to keep my leg elevated. So until I was allowed to sit back at a desk, I couldn't even work from home. And then all this chew on with infections and the cancer stuff. I've been off a while. But back to work now, and hopefully, touch wood. No, that's softwood. Let's find some hardwood somewhere. Yeah, hopefully things will pick up now that we know what we're fighting against. Chuck another log on the barbie. Ooh, feel the heat coming off, that's nice. Yeah, it's a prostate cancer. What a bastard. Yeah, it could be worse, I suppose. But Karen's insisting that we live life to the full at the minute. So she's just bought me some Amy McDonald tickets. Just said to me last night, she goes, "You like Amy McDonald, don't you?" And I went, "Yes, I do." The Scottish singer from Glasgow. I've always liked her from when I first heard her years ago. I've liked Amy McDonald. Yeah, she was ever so cute when she was younger. She's very attractive now, but it's not the point. When you look at her very early, when she first started making a name for herself, that little goth look she had going on. Yeah. It was very nice. But as I say, even now she's a very attractive, dare I say, beautiful woman. Yeah. But I like her voice, and she sings in her own accent as well, which is nice. But yeah, I've always been partial to a bit of Amy McDonald. Listening to Amy McDonald. Obviously, I've never met the woman. Such is life. Anyhow, she's playing at the Globe Theatre in Stockton next year, I think June. And the tickets range from £40 to £100 and something. Karen was banging on about it last night. We were looking at tickets, and I was like, I'm not sure, because of the seats that were left and whatnot. And I'm tight when it comes to things like this. I keep thinking to myself, just listen to a CD or something. Put my headphones on, close my eyes, I could be there. Anyhow, she's insisting that we do things. So anyway, the next minute I know, excuse me, I'm flicking wood on the fire. Right, what was I saying? Yeah, so the next thing, she said, "I've booked some tickets." I went, "All right, yeah, where are we sitting?" She goes, "Near the front." And I looked at her and went, she went, "Yeah, I got the expensive tickets. £100, about £100 each for tickets." I says, "How much?" She goes, "You can't take it with you." I'd like to have it for a bit. I've never had any money. I like just a short time where I've got some. But there you go. Such is life. Yeah, we'll enjoy it. We're going on a cruise next year as well. Yeah. I keep referring to it as the Slatty Bard Past Fiddly Bits Tour. We're going to the fjords of Norway. Yeah. Award-winning Fiddly Bits. Yeah. That's a reference for those of you that know what it's about. Some may not. Anyway, I'm thinking of getting a t-shirt or a sweatshirt made. Karen went, it could be cold, get a sweatshirt. Yeah. Slatty Bard Fast. The Fiddly Bits Tour 2026. Award-winning Fiddly Bits at that. Need a wee. Bear with me a second. Got it?
Yeah, got it, buddy. Bread buns and cheese slices and that.
I can offer mince pies, Christmas pies.
Time to get packed away. Nobody else about in a minute, so I'll use the time I've got while it's raining to tidy on the stuff away and get packed up. I might even take it all down to the car and then it's out the way. Then I'm ready to go. I just have to lock the shelter up before I go. I say lock the shelter up. It's got a very basic cheap padlock on it. I've had this military sleeping bag for over 30 years. Because I had it well before I met Karen, and we've been married 31 years and we've been together about 35. Still going strong. It's not as warm as it used to be because it's been washed quite a few times, but it's still in good nick. So I bring this little quilt I got off Temu as well, just in case. Didn't need it last night, but I unpack it just in case I need it. It's easier to reach for and throw of yourself rather than go looking for it and unpack it if you wake up in the middle of the night cold. And I keep a bit of a pillow up here in one of these Ziploc roll up, keep the air out bags. Really just keep the bugs out of it. What's left now is just my air mattress. It's the air mattress I bought myself for camping on my motorbike. Trekology Aloof. I think it's the 180. Doesn't say on the back. Yeah. UL. Rubbed off. It's the larger one of the two Trekology pads. The one with the built-in foot pump. Not that I've ever used it. Because I bought a little electric air pump off Amazon, just a cheap one. And I use that to inflate it. I also use that pump to help start campfires when they're flagging of it. You can just point at it and it helps get it alight. Which was helpful last night because the fire around the main area, the wood was damp and didn't want to take. So I blew some air on it to get it roaring for a bit, to get everything nice and hot, and then it took. It was alright after that. So, what have we got done? Tidied the forge area up, I'll go and show you that. Picked up a lot of the littery bits, not all of it, but a lot of it. Tidied up the new forge area in case anyone wants to camp over there. Tidied up the old forge area, checked the rifle range, the axe throwing range, and the slingshot range for any litter and junk that's there. Tidied that up. Had a look for the gas cylinder. Discovered where the large gas cylinder, or the medium gas cylinder, shall I say, forget what kilogram it is. Discovered where that had ended up. That's on the shower. That used to have a small 3 kilogram, I think it was, propane bottle on it, and it's obviously at some point someone swapped it for the larger one, which is grand. Decided not to pull that off because if people are going to be up here from Thursday, they might want the shower, so that's staying there. John had a similar sized one next to his cabin, so we've pulled that out, and either Craig or Jay says they'll take it sometime next week and get it topped up. I've pulled out, bear with me, pulled out a big bag of cans and brought the trolley up, and Craig's going to take that down, put it on his wagon, and he's going to take that to recycling or wherever it is he takes it. So that'll be out the way, make the place a bit neater. And this is the forge. There was so much rubbish inside, stuff that people have left in there over the couple of years. You know, the type of things where should we put this? It ends up in a dump area, which is this shed. So what we've done is we've pulled the burner out and set it up here and put a heat shield on the wall there. Moved the anvil over here. It's not ideal, I mean long term it's not ideal, but for what they've got planned this weekend, got the propane forge there, so they'll be able to take the small bits of steel out of the forge and bring it straight to the anvil. So if they're right-handed, they'll be on this side, and if they're left-handed, they'll be on the other side, or whichever side they feel comfortable with, I suppose. Yeah, so that's the best we can come up with at the minute, because there's just far too much stuff in there that needs getting rid of. It's not stuff you can burn, it's stuff that you need to get rid of. There's a huge tent in there, and its bag somebody brought up in case anyone wanted it. Well, no one wanted it, but it's been left here. And stuff like that happens. People bring things up in case anybody wants it, and nobody wants it. And the person that brought it up doesn't want it, so they'll leave it here in case anyone ever wants it, rather than taking it away with them. So I suppose we need to get a truck or a skip and just bin it all. And then someone will want it the week after you've got rid of it all. Say, wasn't there a tent up there? Today, I'm going to go and have a sit down in my cabin, because I'm feeling a bit under the weather this morning. This happens to me every now and again. I'll be fine, and then I'm not fine. It might pass in an hour or so, it might not. It might be in for the day. But I don't feel too clever today, so I've done what I can do with this morning. The rain has virtually stopped. I think it has stopped. What's falling now is just what's dripping off the trees. Just having a walk around, see if I can find anything that needs tidying away before the meet. But we seem to be alright. Just double checking the rifle range and the catapult range, the axe throwing range. Picking up the odd bit of litter here and there, set the burn barrel away. So as I'm picking stuff up, I'm burning it. I'm going to let that burn out now, because I'll be going soon. Craig and Jay should be back soon from breakfast. They went down to Crook. I believe I've already said that, but I'm old and I forget things. Yeah, just had a tidy round as much as I can. And I've sat down and played Mahjong on my phone just for something to do while it was raining. But it's looking nice now. It's a bit of sunshine breaking through the trees and this place comes alive. But even the winter months, you know, you sat here and there's snow on the ground, and again it's alive, but it's a different sort of alive. Dormant, but has the promise of things to come in the spring. Oh, I think the rain's starting again. No, it hasn't. It's just more stuff dripping off the trees as the wind blew it. As the wind picks up in the canopy. Ah, I'm going to go home soon and have a nice hot bath. Most things are ready for next weekend. A day spent doing a bit of Camp Bob prep for a weekend meet. It's the last meet of the year, the November meet. Where the camp's open up to non-members, that is. But there you go, I'm going to call it a day here and pack up my camera gear. So it's been nice chatting, making another video after such a break, and hopefully it won't be so long till the next one. Cheery bye.
Thanks for watching Old Man in a Shed.